Loyalties Betrayed. After his victory over the rival drug lord, Miguel's empire continued to grow, but it also attracted more enemies. One day, a man named Antonio approached Miguel and offered to help him expand his territory. Antonio was a well-known figure in the city's criminal underworld with connections to the police, politicians, and other powerful players. At first, Miguel was suspicious of Antonio's motives, but he eventually decided to trust him. Antonio was intelligent, resourceful, and loyal, and he quickly became one of Miguel's most trusted allies. Together, they expanded their drug operation, pushing out rivals and establishing new smuggling routes. However, as their empire grew, cracks began to appear in their partnership. Miguel became increasingly paranoid and controlling, while Antonio began to chafe under his boss's authoritarian rule. He had his own ambitions, and he was beginning to feel like he was being held back by Miguel's need for total control. As tensions between them mounted, a new threat emerged. A rival gang, led by a ruthless woman named Carmen, began to encroach on their territory. Miguel and Antonio knew that they had to act fast to protect their empire, but they disagreed on how to do it. Miguel wanted to take a direct approach, using force to drive Carmen and her gang out. Antonio, on the other hand, favored a more subtle approach, one that would allow them to eliminate Carmen without drawing too much attention. In the end, Miguel's impatience got the better of him. He ordered a raid on Carmen's headquarters, hoping to catch her off guard. But the plan went awry, and Miguel and his men were ambushed by Carmen's well-armed gang. In the ensuing firefight, several of Miguel's men were killed, and Antonio was captured by Carmen. Miguel was devastated by the loss of his men and the capture of his ally. He knew that he had made a mistake by not listening to Antonio, and he was determined to make things right. He gathered his remaining forces and launched a daring rescue mission, storming Carmen's compound and freeing Antonio. But when they returned to their own territory, Miguel realized that he could no longer trust Antonio. He saw the ambition in his eyes, the desire for power, and he knew that Antonio was a threat to his own rule. In a moment of rage and desperation, Miguel had Antonio killed, sending a message to anyone who would dare to betray him. As Miguel looked out over the city from his penthouse suite, he knew that his empire was more fragile than ever. He had made enemies of powerful players, lost men and resources, and he was starting to wonder if the price of his success was worth the constant danger and paranoia. Yet he also knew that he had come too far to turn back now. He was a kingpin, the ruler of a criminal empire that stretched across the city, and he would do whatever it took to stay on top.